Welcome back, guys. Apparently, the first version of this video only had audio for about the first 23.5 seconds. So we're going to give this a second shot. If you hear barking in the background, just pretend you didn't. When we left off last time, we had talked about making pictographs, bar graphs to display data. And we talked about how similar a bar graph and a pictograph could be. Now we're going to look at what could be considered a different type of bar graph almost. This one is called a histogram. And the big difference between a histogram and a bar graph over here is that in a histogram, each bar represents a class or an interval of quantitative data. So we're not just using favorite color and how many people like red, or favorite food and how many people like pizza. We're going to use a range of data for each one of our rectangles, almost like a bucket that we have sorted our data into. Our data happens to be grades for the last 0300 exam. I've given you a list of them. They are not sorted. They're all mixed together. We need to figure out how we're going to make our histogram. So I'm going to look at probably our lowest and our highest scores. I see a 53. Oop, here's a 45. So it looks like our lowest is a 45. Here's a 95. Oh, here's a 99. So that's going to be our maximum. So when we set these up, we want to set these up in intervals. And I think that since we're dealing with grades, the easiest way to separate these is just going to be by grade. I don't want to call it a grade level because that sounds like kindergarten, first grade. By letter grade. There we go. So I think we'll make our first interval go from, what was our lowest? 45. We want to catch that one. So we'll do 40 to 45. Not 40 to 45. What am I saying? 40 to 49. And I'm going to go count all of the grades that land in that 40 to 49 range. I think there's just one. I think it's just that 45. I think we probably have enough space here that we can just count by ones. One, not with the highlighter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to number every single one of them. That tends to make things a little crowded, and we're not dealing with a big graph here. I only had one score in the 40 to 49 range. So my rectangle is only going to be 1 unit tall. So my next one won't start at 49, it's going to start at 50. So this one will go from 50 to 59. And I'm going to go get all of my data points between 50 and 59 inclusive. That means I want to use those. I'm going to cross out our 45 because we've already used it. Here's a 53. And a 55, that's 2. So I just have 2. So this rectangle will be 2 blocks tall. My next class will go from 60 to 69. And we could make these, we could make each block count for 2 or 3. It just depends on what kind of scale you want to use. We could make our rectangles 2 rectangles wide. It's completely up to you. And you could make a different looking histogram than I could for this data, and they could still be perfectly valid. So yours does not have to look exactly like this one by any means. 60 to 69, here's a 67 and a 65. So that's 2, 3, 4. So I'll make that one 4 units tall. So then we'll go from 70 to 79. And cross out the ones I've used. Here's 78. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 in the 70 to 79 range. Okay, then we'll do 80 to 89. So we'll go count these. I'm going to pick a different color. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could pick different class widths. You could have yours go from 40 to 45 and then 46 to 51. The important part is that all of these down here are the same width. So I can't have one that goes from 40 to 45 and then 46 to 66. They all have to be the same width. So try to be mindful of that. Let's see, now we have to do the 90s. So there's a 95, that's 1. 94 makes 2. Another 94 makes 3. 99 is 4. 94 makes 5. And 93 makes 6 again. And I color it in. And I forgot to label my class, and you guys didn't say anything. Can't believe you didn't tell me. I didn't label my class. So this is the 90 to 99 class. Now, how did I know to stop right there? Because this 99 right here, that one, was the largest element of my data set. So I knew I could stop. If there was a 100, I couldn't lump that 100 in with my 90 to 99 class. I would have to make another class to hold that one. We are missing a couple of things. We need to make sure we get some labels. We need a title. So we can call this exam grades. For Math 0300. On the y-axis or the dependent axis, this is the frequency. then across the bottom are our grades or scores. We'll call it grades since I called it exam grades. If it helps, if you would like to label these X and Y, you are absolutely welcome to. So there's your histogram. Sometimes you could see histograms where the rectangles are stuck together. That's okay. The big difference between a histogram and a bar graph, again, is that each bar on a histogram represents a bucket of data rather than one single piece of information.